Hello students, I am Dr. Bipin B. Gawande and welcome to video lecture series for Systems in Mechanical Engineering. We are dealing with the unit number 1, Introduction of Energy Sources and its Conversion. Now let us start with the simple definitions of energy. So energy can be defined as its capacity to do work. Now we know that the energy exists in several forms such as thermal energy, chemical energy, mechanical energy, electrical, nuclear, gravitational energy, etc. Now energy is measured in terms of the joule in SI unit, while in kilocalorie in MK system. 1 kilocalorie is equal to 4.187 kilojoule. The another term is power. Rate of doing work, it is called as the power. The power is measured in terms of watt in SI unit, while horsepower in terms of the English unit. So 1 horsepower that is equal to 746 watt. Now let us discuss the two types of energy sources. One is called as conventional energy sources that is available in the form of natural gas, coal, nuclear energy and petroleum products. While non-conventional energy sources are available in the form of biomass, wind energy, hydro energy, solar energy, geothermal energy, and tidal energy. In our syllabus, we are dealing with wind energy, solar energy, and the geothermal energy. Now, let us discuss the question which was there in the last INSEM examination. Write down the difference between conventional and non-conventional energy sources. Now, conventional energy sources are traditional energy sources which are buried under the ground or ocean, and we have taken it out and we are using that as the energy sources. So these are the energy sources which are in use from the decades. Non-conventional energy sources are available in the nature, but we are not given proper attention to these energy sources. So these are recently identified and developed sources of energy. Conventional energy sources are called as the non-renewable energy sources, while non-conventional energy sources these are called as what renewable energy sources. The use of conventional energy sources it causes the pollution, while non-conventional energy sources are environmental friendly. Conventional energy sources are exhaustible. That means in the coming year, definitely these energy sources will be there will be the shortage of these conventional energy sources. While non-conventional energy sources will be available in ample amount or in a huge amount in the future also, as it is available today. The examples of the conventional energy sources are coal, natural gas, nuclear energy, petroleum products, etc. While the example of non-conventional energy sources are solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, hydro energy, and geothermal energy. Now let us discuss about the energy conversion. So we are dealing with the power plant. The function of the power plant is to convert the energy into the form of energy into the electrical energy. So we are first dealing with the thermal power plant. The word thermal means it is heat. That means this power plant converts the heat energy into electrical energy. Now the various components of the thermal power plants are boiler, then steam turbine, generator, condenser, cooling tower, then hot well, heat pump, and the various components inside the boiler. Now we will discuss the function of each component one by one. Now the function of the boiler is to convert the water into superheated steam. So water is used from the river. That's why the power plant is generally located near the river. So the function of the boiler is to convert the water into superheated steam. Now, how this boiler convert water into superheated steam? So boiler uses coal plus oil in the furnace, and because of the combustion of this coal plus oil, uh, the flue gases are generated, which is having very high thermal energy or heat energy, and these flue gases flows over the water tubes. Now the water inside the tubes they absorb the heat from these flue gases, and the water is converted into superheated steam. Okay, so we'll see this conversion. So this is the boiler, and this is the combustion of coal plus oil inside the furnace in the boiler. Now, because of the combustion of the coal plus oil, there is a generation of the flue gases. So the arrows which are moving upward, they shows the flue gases. Now, these are the various types of the water tubes. The water inside these tubes, it is converted into superheated steam. Okay, so the superheated steam it is denoted with the white arrow. Now, so the function of the boiler is to what? It is to generate the superheated steam. Now, after generating the superheated steam, the superheated steam, then it enters into the steam turbine. Now, steam turbine, it is having the blade-like structure, rotating structure. It is having the blades, and when this superheated steam it strikes the blades of the steam turbine, the steam turbine it starts rotating. So that means the heat energy or thermal energy of from the superheated steam it is converted into what? The rotational energy of the steam turbine. That means the thermal energy is converted into mechanical energy. Okay. So then this steam turbine it is connected with the generator. Generator converts the mechanical energy of the steam turbine into electrical energy. Okay. So this conversion is shown here. Now superheated steam from the boiler, then it enters into the turbine. So these are the turbines. Turbine is a rotating system. Okay. The steam coming at very high velocity, it rotates the blades of the turbine. Okay, and the heat energy is converted into mechanical energy. Okay, so this is the rotation of the turbine. The turbine it is connected with the generator. So generator generates the EMF and electricity is produced at the end. Okay, so this is electricity is available at the end and this is available for the distribution. Okay. Then after this, after doing the work in the steam turbine, the steam it comes out the steam turbine and then it enters into the condenser. Okay. Now what happens in the condenser? We will see that one. Okay. So now this is the condenser. Okay. So this is our condenser. Okay. Now this blue arrow it denotes the cold water that is coming inside the condenser, and this white arrow it denotes the steam which is coming from the steam turbine. Okay, and so what happens when the steam comes in contact with the cold water? So when the steam comes in contact with this cold water flowing inside the condenser, the steam is at high temperature and the cold water inside the condenser tubes it is at low temperature. So steam gives its energy to the water flowing inside the condenser tubes. So and the steam is converted into condensate. So this is the condensate. Okay, so hot water. So what happens when the steam rejects its heat to the cold water flowing through the condenser? It is converted into the hot water. So this red portion it denotes the hot water. Initially it is cold, but after receiving the heat from the steam, which is coming from the steam turbine, it is converted into hot water. And because of the rejection of the heat, the steam is converted into condensate. Okay, and then it goes into the hot vein. So there is, using these two outlet, it goes into the outlet. Okay, so this is the two things are there. So condenser is used for so condenser, it is used for producing the condensate. Okay. Now, what happens in the condenser? The steam rejected heat to the cold water in the condenser, and the water get heated. So that heated water then it goes to the cooling tower. Okay. So now the red pipe, that is the hot water from the condenser, it goes into the cooling tower. Now cooling tower, at the cooling tower, the water is sprayed in the form of the water droplets, and there is one fan at the bottom, and using that fan, the hot water, it is converted into the cold water. Okay, so hot water from the condenser, it is cooled down in the cooling tower, and then it is again supplied back to the condenser. Okay, so see, this is the cold water is again supplied to the condenser. Okay. So the function of the condenser is to what? Is to form the condensate, and the function of the cooling tower is to what? The hot water uh, which is coming from the condenser. The cooling tower it cools that hot water, and the cold water it is again supplied to the condenser using condenser water circulating pump. Now the whatever the condensate which is collected in the condenser, that is taken into the hot well using the condensate extraction pump. Okay, and then that water, hot water, it is again taken into the economizer tubes using what, the feed pump. So this water is called as what, feed water. So feed water is taken into the economizer tubes. This while flowing through these economizer tubes, the water absorbs the flue gases because this flow is continuous. So this absorbs the flue gases and its temperature increases. Water is converted into steam. Then that steam is called as the wet steam. So that wet steam again absorbs the flue gases, absorb the heat from the flue gases, and then that steam, the temperature of the steam again increases. So that increased temperature steam, it is entered into the superheater tubes, and then that steam is finally converted into superheated steam. Okay, so feed water comes into the economizer, its temperature increases. So function of economizer is to what? To increase the temperature of feed water. Then that water converted into wet steam. Wet steam enters into the superheated tubes, and after absorbing the heat from the flue gases, the wet steam is converted into superheated steam. Superheated steam, it enters into the steam turbine. It rotates the blades of the steam turbine. Mechanical energy is generated. Mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy in the generator. Remaining steam, it enters into the condenser. In condenser, the steam rejects its heat and convert it to condensate. It heated the cold water flowing through the condenser. The hot water, it enters into the cooling tower. Cooling tower cools the hot water coming from the condenser, and cold water, it is again supplied to the condenser tubes. The condensate collected in the condenser, it is taken into the hot well using condensate extraction pump. This the hot water is supplied to the economizer tube using the feed pump. So that is called as the feed water. The function of the economizer is to increase the temperature of the feed water and convert it into wet steam. The wet steam again absorbs the heat from the flue gases. It is converted. It goes into the superheater tubes, and in superheater tube, its temperature again increases, and the wet steam is converted into superheated steam. Okay. Now there is another part that is called the air preheater. Air preheater, it takes the surrounding air using the blower. Now the temperature of the incoming air is increased by absorbing the heat from the flue gases. The hot air is supplied to the furnace. The purpose of supplying hot air to the furnace is to increase the combustion process, okay, or to enhance the combustion process. So air preheater, the function of the air preheater is to heat the air coming from the surrounding by absorbing the heat energy from the flue gases. Okay, so this is the working of the thermal power plant. The After rejecting the heat energy to the water tubes, economizer, superheater, and preheater, finally these flue gases it removed from the boiler through the chimney. Okay, so this is the working of your thermal power plant. Okay, now you can in some books, instead of this total detailed diagram of boiler, you can use only this circle as a boiler. Okay, so you can say here that the function of the boiler is to convert the water into superheated steam. Now let us discuss the advantages of the thermal power plant. Initial cost is low as compared to the other power generating power plants. It requires less land as compared to the hydro power plant. The fuel, that is coal, it is cheaper. The cost of generation is lesser than that of the diesel power plant. The power plant can be located near load center, so transmission losses are less here. The generation of power is not dependent on the nature's mercy like hydro plant. The construction and commissioning of thermal power plant required less period of time, and it is generally done by BHEL, that is Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited. Disadvantages are air pollution. The pollution of the surrounding atmosphere is caused by the emitting large amount of the objective gases and dust particle. Because of this dust particle, it affects the human health. Also affect the plant, the cultivation of the plants in the field also. The air pollution and smoke causes noises to people surrounding the planet. This is one of the causes of global warming. Okay, the efficiency of this thermal power plant is very less, that is 30% only. Major part of the heat is lost in the condenser. Okay, that's why the efficiency is less. A large amount of water source is required for the conversion of water into steam. Okay, so these are the advantages and disadvantages of the thermal power plant. Okay, so today we will stop here and we will discuss the nuclear power plant in our next lecture. So thank you very much.